Then there was Alexander Smirnov, who had the smoking gun about all of the Biden corruption. He's not available because he has been indicted for being an agent of the Russian government. There was Mr. Gall Luft. I'm sorry, he also can't be here today to help you because he was indicted for being a Chinese agent. Then my favorite, and you could say this is when you jumped the shark, is when you had Jason Galanis testify from prison. You zoomed a guy in from prison to try and support your investigation.
There is a lot of foreign influence in our government, and that is not great. With progressives still reeling from the defeat of Jamal Bowman thanks to a targeted and unprecedented level of influence from AIPAC, the question of who is really in charge around here is on everyone's mind lately. Last night's debate, I'm told because I did not watch it, didn't help ease concerns over who is really running this country. And no regrets, by the way, on not watching. Anyway, you just saw Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell delivering a bit of a mic drop moment on Republicans when he pointed out how badly their investigation into the alleged Biden crime family is going and has been going. And it really hasn't been going very well for them, which is doubly embarrassing because they keep shooting their own weird narrative in the foot. If Biden is so incompetent that he has dementia and he's on drugs, etc., then him running a crime ring that Republicans can't quite figure out is embarrassing for them. Additionally, if you're trying to prove that someone is a criminal who's beholden to foreign governments, maybe don't elicit help from actual criminals who are beholden to foreign governments who are aligned with your own cause. Maybe try to distance yourself from those people. But to be fair, their argument is that these criminals and foreign agents are just witnesses. They've got the inside scoop on the Biden crime family because he's just one of them. So Alexander Smirnov, not the Russian figure skater, but an ex-FBI informant, was charged earlier this year with making up a multi-million-dollar bribery scheme involving the Biden family. Gal Luft, an Israeli-American and former lieutenant colonel in the IDF, was charged with acting as an unregistered foreign agent, trafficking in arms, and violating U.S. sanctions against Iran. According to U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, quote, as alleged, Gal Luft, a dual U.S.-Israeli citizen and co-head of a Maryland think tank, engaged in multiple serious criminal schemes. He subverted foreign agent registration laws in the United States to seek to promote Chinese policies by acting through a former high-ranking U.S. government official. He acted as a broker in deals for dangerous weapons and Iranian oil, and he told multiple lies about his crimes to law enforcement. As the charges unsealed today reflect, our office will continue to work vigorously with our law enforcement partners to detect and hold accountable those who surreptitiously attempt to perpetrate malign foreign influence campaigns here in the United States. And Jason Galanis was found guilty of committing multiple securities fraud schemes. Meanwhile, Trump himself, along with his daughter Ivanka, were getting favors from the Chinese while Trump was president. According to Democratic Representative Robert Garcia, quote, the former president spent his time in office collecting payments from China and many other countries through his businesses. He refused to divest from those businesses and broke decades of precedent.
And let's be clear about the facts. The former president spent his time in office collecting payments from China and many other countries through his businesses. He refused to divest from those businesses and broke decades of precedent. Now, we all know that the Constitution has a specific prohibition from receiving payments from foreign governments. Our committee, this committee, actually had an investigation that documented cash flowing directly from the Chinese government state-owned businesses into the businesses and pockets of the Trump family. Here is just some of that. We know that the People's Republic of China, including state-owned enterprises, sent more than $5.5 million to the Trump organization. And just to be clear, it's a minimum of $5.5 million because we only have data and a few of the Trump locations. It is likely much, much higher a number that China actually spent money and drove money into the Trump organization, of course, while Donald Trump was the president. This is unconstitutional and threatens our national security. Now, these, of course, aren't the only favors that the Trump family got from China. Just months after he took office, the Chinese government suddenly reversed long-standing policies and awarded Trump 38 new trademarks in China for industries related to restaurants and advertising. And of course, this went beyond just Donald Trump himself. In April of 2017, With Trump's White House in chaos, many people, including the Chinese government, were all trying to gain influence during this time. Ivanka Trump, who was working in the White House, got preliminary approval for 3 Chinese trademarks on the same day that Donald Trump had dinner with Xi Jinping at Mar-a-Lago. And remember, Ivanka never divested her company while she was working in the White House. Now, President Trump also overruled our own security officials in our own government and publicly promised to save jobs at a Chinese government telecom company which was facing sanctions. And the list goes on and on and on.
But I want to go back to Swalwell's mic drop moment. At least that's what people are calling it. I'm kind of over mic drop moments. I'm more excited about mic drops when it's like the Kendrick and Drake beef. That seems like an appropriate time and place for a mic drop. I think it's sad that our national discourse has just become a series of mic drops, though. To me, they're the equivalent of a snarky tweet or a TikTok video. Sure, there's a time and place for those, but at the highest levels of our national government, it all feels a bit juvenile. And I'm not blaming Eric Swalwell, just to be clear. This is what our political landscape has evolved into, sound bites and clickbait. The issues we're discussing, however, are very, very real, and they affect millions of people, not just in this country, but around the world. Shouldn't something carrying so much weight be worthy of actual thought and consideration? Unfortunately, we're just playing games out here. In a system with little to no integrity, there can only be games. Republicans aren't trying to solve problems. They made up a whole crime syndicate and then burdened themselves with the impossible task of proving its existence, and in so doing, they burdened the rest of us with having to point out their banal and palpable failings over and over again. Perhaps in such a dysfunctional system, all you can have are mic drops. All you can have is an arbitrary, invisible scoreboard where one team might win more volleys and rack up more points, but it really doesn't matter because the points don't matter because each team is keeping score for themselves. Plot twist, there are 2 scoreboards. Both teams are somehow simultaneously winning while the rest of us are losing over and over again. I can't even drop my own mic because it's just here on this table. All right, but that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Bye.